Okay, it's the same color as the directions. Man. Oh no, at a mental health clinic, or healthy clinic, as the tab says. Alright. Ugh, mental health. First, it kind of sucks that the most intense part of the interpreting is going to be alone, which is the one-on-one sessions. The therapist asking me about all these questions is kind of beyond the scope of an interpreter hired for the situation. The high level of sexual abuse, it's probably something that I would say the therapist needs to find out on their own. I don't know, maybe through the patient, see why the patient's in therapy. As a hired interpreter, I don't know if I should be talking about that. Also, I wouldn't really know much about that because I don't have any experience with that. Maybe by the time I took an assignment like this, I would have some experience and knowledge with deaf people and their experiences in residential schools. I would not speak to them in private because my job is done for the day. I should just be there to interpret for the day. The therapist has something to talk about with me for the next session, then they should talk about it with me in the 15 minutes before the session. I don't think there's anything after the session. The therapist should be talking to me about the interpreting, or talking to me about the session, unless he was confused about the interpreting or something, but I'm not sure. That sounds sketchy. A page. Huh. This scenario is a little outdated. I don't know, this is tough. In order to give an accurate response, I probably have to have some experience with interpreting in mental health and my abilities to interpret, especially by myself, but I would probably have to ethically decide to not interpret and see if the deaf person can join a different one-on-one group another day when I can have a team interpreter. I don't think having me interpret by myself is going to be very beneficial to the deaf client or consumer, nor will it be beneficial for the rest of the hearing people since it'll be just one person. This situation is especially tough considering that somebody has to interpret this. It's not going to be easy for anyone. Maybe it would be more beneficial for this deaf client to have a different interpreter every time, but there's no way to guarantee that they are going to be able to get an interpreter for each session, so therefore many sessions might be canceled. I think knowing how I am, that I would probably keep doing the assignment and just start taking extra precautions outside of work to take care of my mental and physical health. Maybe schedule more massages, especially hand massages, to help with the fact that I have to interpret a subject that is putting strain on my wrists because of my emotional state. This segment makes it seem like the interpreter lets the therapist control them, or I guess control me, and that's not something I would normally do. I would normally lay out the situation. The therapist doesn't understand the consequences of interpreting this type of situation continually, especially on my own. I honestly, considering family history, would probably drop off this assignment or have never taken it in the first place because I don't think I could ever interpret something like this. I'm sure that this man should not have, according to the court, should not be at this place in the first place. I would probably call and anonymously call somebody. I don't know. Maybe I would know who to call after interpreting this situation or this meeting or whatever, but I would probably, maybe their parole officer or something, and anonymously say that there's a man here who is on the registered sex offenders list and should not be here. Because by not saying anything, you're endangering, I don't know, however many boys that are there, maybe hundreds of little boys, their future. And therefore potentially creating more future sexual predators, since that tends to be how they're abused as a kid. They often become abusers later in life. At that point, I would step in. I would definitely call and anonymously say that there is somebody here who should not be here. It's clear what his intentions are. He's trying to abuse boys, and I couldn't let that happen. At this point, I don't think the CPC can keep me from, at least anonymously, calling in a tip and saying that this man should not be here. Considering my personal experiences, I would rather be barred from interpreting than let that happen. I think that if I was in this situation, I probably just wouldn't have accepted the job in the first place.